smell that air. Crisp, clean Canadian air. I can feel the city smog clearing out of my lungs. Come on, get out and breathe.
We're only right over the border.
I can hear the falls from here.
You can hear the falls from everywhere in this tourist trap. Let's drive the residents nuts.
It's so loud. It's like a subway rumbling that never ends.
I have to pay the parking lot attendant $4. You got any Canadian currency?
Yeah.
$4. Not 4 coins.
No, their dollars are coins. They call them loons because of the bird.
Loons, huh?
Yep.
Look like ducks. You sure know a lot about Canada.
I have always wanted to come to Niagara.
So you've said a half dozen times on the ride up.
To live so close to a natural wonder and never see it is... Yeah, thanks for bringing me up here.
Well, you requested it. I thought I'd do something nice for a friend. We can walk from here to the falls.
I guess you don't have to play tonight.
With my boss, I'm always working.
It's disgraceful that you work for those guys.
Those guys? Businessmen.
Thugs. Gangsters.
Gangsters. You watch too many old movies. They're real estate developers.
Gangsters.
The riverfront is prime real estate. The land is worth a fortune. Of course, now it's cheap because there's nothing on it. Once we buy out the current owners, we get the land rezoned for commercial, and then we build on it.
You say we like you're getting part of the... Come on, Charlie, you're a piano player for a tough-knuckled extortionist.
I'm not always a piano player, Ferris.
What were you last week? I was there, Charlie. I saw the Lincoln pull out of the alley. The police said they found a body in the dumpster back there. The owner of the Westin Hotel.
Ferris, I've explained this to you 100 times. Let's take it from the top, slowly. We met for lunch at 12:30 at the Vincenza restaurant. I picked that place because at 1:30, I had to meet my boss, who had some business nearby. The Lincoln was parked in the alleyway behind the restaurant to pick me up. We ate lunch, then I got in the car to meet my boss.
A coincidence that the car was parked 10 feet away from a dumpster that contained the body of your boss's rival for the riverfront property.
Ferris, the coroner said that body could have been there for days.
He said hours.
So what are you saying? I'm a hitman?
Maybe. You could have killed that guy before we met for lunch.
Hey, I'm a musician. I don't know how to work guns. And you can't link the death to Mr. Canavino.
He had a motive. You said so yourself. That property was worth a fortune.
That guy was involved in a lot of suspicious activity. Anybody could have had a motive for killing him.
Then why was your Mr. Canavino so quick to pay me off?
Because if you talk, Ferris, it'll ruin his chances of buying the property. As it is, the FBI are constantly trailing him. An accusation, a false accusation like murder, that'll make things very difficult for him.
He deserves difficulties.
What's enough about that? That was last week. It's all in the past. Anyways, you agreed not to talk.
I didn't agree to anything. I've already told the police about the Lincoln.
I know.
Oh. So, that's why we came up here. Spend a little time together. Talk. Well, go ahead. Talk. Convince me not to tell the police everything. Do what your Mr. Canavino ordered.
He didn't order me to do anything. I drove you up here because we're friends. Childhood friends. You told me never been to the falls, so I take you. No other reasons.
Your grandmother asked about you all the time.
My grandmother?
She would ask about your work. You know, piano and the fancy racket bars in Vegas and Reno and Atlantic City.
She used to get really excited when I told her all the places I'd been. I used to bring her gifts and trinkets, souvenirs.
Never had the heart to tell her the truth.
You got me confused with some other guy. Hey, let's take a walk through the park before we go to the falls.
There's a park?
Yes, with a statue of King George freeing the Dominion of Canada from the Commonwealth of Nations.
You seem to know a lot about Canada yourself.
I played the bars and hotels up here a couple times. Lounge acts. A long time ago.
I really didn't mean all those things that I said, you know, about you being a killer.
I'm not. I do a job. Entertain some rich old men who own half the eastern seaboard. So their business is a little crooked. They want to hear a good tune played.
Told your grandmother how you traveled the country. She seemed envious.
Envious? She traveled the globe to get here. On her own at 16. I got as far as Nevada because I was told to go there.
You always do what you're told?
Ferris, we grew up together, but somewhere down the line we split up, went our own ways. I spend my life following orders, but so do you.
Wait a minute. You can't compare what I do to your job. I volunteer in the community. I help the sick, I help the elderly, and I help the handicapped.
I help people with my music.
You play to low lives. I work for the betterment of people.
So why don't you become a priest? Everyone in the neighborhood thought you would, even my parents. They were so proud of you.
I didn't have that calling. My inner voice told me to help people, not serve God.
And my inner voice told me to work for Mr. Canavino. He's my family now.
He's a murderer, Charlie.
I know.
Then why do you work for him?
He took care of me. When my parents died, they had no insurance. The bank took the house. Mr. Canavino paid for the funeral. Gave me and my grandmother a new home. Who do you think paid for you to look after my grandmother while I was away?
Now, wait a minute. I volunteered all that time. Right up until the minute she died.
I know, and I thank you. But who do you think brought all the food and medicine?
Mr. Canavino never came over to the house. The neighbors...
The neighbors did it for Mr. Canavino. He didn't come into the home because he knew you were there. He didn't want you to know he was supplying the neighbors.
Why?
Because he, like you, cares for the community.
But why didn't he want me to know?
To him, you're a priest. Let's get moving.
Well, moving? What's the rush? You're not working.
Always working.
What do you have to do?
Things.
Do you remember this?
That's our family cross. My grandmother's grandfather made this cross in Italy.
Does it mean anything to you?
Sure. He made this cross with his own hands out of nails and bits of metal. He wasn't an artist, just a laborer, whose faith was so strong that he made this cross as a symbol of his love. He cut his hands with deep slashes while doing so.
So this is like a family heirloom.
Absolutely.
You were supposed to have this.
I guess so. My grandmother took it when my parents died. She was so shocked to outlive her own daughter. I guess it was meant for me.
She gave it to me.
You took care of her. And I don't mean those last days of her life, but all through her life. Always looking in after her. You're the only friend from childhood my parents consider family.
And I cherish that sentiment. You should have been there for your grandmother, Charlie.
You know I couldn't. I had to work.
I was the only one there when she died. No one from her family was there.
Canavino wouldn't let me leave the shows.
You could have at least made the funeral. You let them tell you what to do.
Have to.
Why? Afraid to disobey? So afraid you couldn't be by the bedside of your last dying relative?
You don't understand how they work.
Oh, I understand. You lost your way and they helped you find it. At a price. Leave and they kill you.
You know nothing.
Your grandmother dying, and you have one more show to play. Your best friend, your only friend witnesses a murder, and you have to eliminate it.
Now you're talking crazy.
They are not your family, Charlie. Your family wouldn't ask you to do this.
What do you want to hear from me? That you're the better man because you work for needy people?
No. I want you to tell me the truth.
Fine. You're the better man, Ferris. You win all the awards for outstanding citizenship.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how you gave up your freedom for a man who doesn't care for you.
He cares for me. He's given me everything. Without him and his charity, I wouldn't have nothing.
Now I'm giving you something. I'm giving you your family back.
Here's $5,000. Actually, it's closer to 3. I had to pay for my grandmother's funeral with that money. Keep it. Stay in Canada. Rent an apartment for 6 months. Do whatever you want. Maybe I can get some more. Just don't talk. Don't come home.
This is the money Canavino gave you to kill me.
You watch too many old movies.